All right, all right, all right. Folks, we are super duper excited for the first, ready for this, remedial improvement performance plan. So what that means is every single one of you is really taking that commitment to stay committed. Okay. And we've got 30 minutes with you until 9:30 a.m. And we're going to pour everything we possibly can, from the sales managers to the leadership to RVPs and to partners and above, so that we can help you go to the next level. So we can eliminate those excuses, so we can eliminate anything that is impeding on your success. This is what we're here to do. And today's subject, are you ready for this? Is why the activity tracker. What is so important about the basics of the activity tracker? Are you ready for this? So here we go. First, I want you to understand this extremely important thing, and I want you to write this down, okay? It's not the opportunity that matters, it's your mindset. It's not the opportunity that matters, it's your mindset. So if you were to say, what's more important, your mindset or the opportunity? What's more important right now is your mindset, especially your mindset towards the activity tracker. So what do I mean by that? Ready for this? If I give you an opportunity and you carry the wrong mindset, you won't maintain the opportunity when you hit it. Let me repeat this, okay? If I give you an opportunity with the wrong mindset, even when you hit what you expect to hit, you won't maintain it. You've got to make sure that your perspective, your mindset, your attitude of the certain things that we're going to be teaching every Tuesday morning for this RIP program, because understand this, the hustler knows the value of maintaining it. You see, Pitbull says this, one of his hot quotes, he says, success means nothing unless you maintain it. The hardest part of success is not hitting it, it's maintaining it. So how can we maintain and actually stay at a level that, in my opinion, is going to catapult you to what? Sales manager, and getting into those sales manager levels. Okay, so here we go. When it comes to the activity tracker, you ready for this? All right, do I have JJ on? Mr. Jonathan Jones, do I have you? I know he's updating his Zoom. There he is, I see him. All right, Mr. Jonathan Jones, do I have you, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Strength and honor. Good morning.
All right. So I know that you are probably one of the very best. That when we started out, you started out back, a few years back. I think it's been, is it 4 or 5 years now? I can't remember. 4 years?
5 years and in a month.
Unbelievable. That's crazy. I still feel like it was yesterday you were in my office getting started with your iPad and us downloading the activity tracker. And back then it was not as refined as it is now. Why the activity tracker? You still to this day send the activity tracker and you mark it down, you track it. Why is the activity tracker so important for these agents?
Absolutely. A famous man once said, it is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. That was Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ashley, did you get my that PowerPoint at all or not?
Oh, I tell you what, I can actually download it while you are talking. Okay.
Okay, cool. Y'all, I stayed up to like 1 a.m. working on that thing, but it's all good if we don't. Just kind of listen, you can take notes. So the only way to run a business at scale is to implement systems that track data. That's a quote from Patrick Bet-David, who built a huge life insurance agency and now is an integrity partner and managing partner. And so you want that life insurance is great. Why, Ashley? Why, Laura? Because they've been able to build a business that's scalable. And if you look at Ashley and Laura, what they have built are systems. And they've built up small, like atomic habits, and they've been consistent over time. They've had a lot of failures, but what the tracker does is it allows you to see that data and know where to direct your energy. So you may say, what is activity tracking? I think everybody on the call knows, but just for the specific purpose of defining, it is the process of documenting what's most important in your business. So for activity, you want to know what leads are you working, how many, what leads did you sell? So you know how many referrals you're getting, how many T65s, how many neighbor knocks, how many platinums, and then you're going to find what are you getting your best ROI on. So you also want to know your approaches, of course. And what this does for you all, it's going to relieve a lot of stress. A lot of that stress where you're having, I was telling Jordan, shout out to Jordan Screws. He's training with me today. I was telling him I had a day actually where I did 11 presentations in March Madness. Laura, you probably remember that when I was running around crazy, working 80 hours a week. And I did 11 presentations. I went 0 for 11. But I didn't freak out. I ended up writing 13K that week in advance. But I didn't freak out. You know why? Because I knew those numbers were predictable. There we go. So why the activity tracker? I reached out to Alex Cromie, Ashley. I reached out to you. I said, what are some good ideas on the activity tracker? And Alex Cromie said, and I said, I'm going to use your quote. He said, cool. Texted him at midnight last night. And he said, if they want to win, they'll do it. And like just one little phrase, if they want. So I'm going to ask you all, do you want to win? If you want to win, track your numbers. That's my activity tracker from last week. 17 presentations, closed 8, wrote 9, 13. Now if you all, I did about the same activity the previous week, and sometimes your AP might not match your same presentation count, but as you keep being consistent, you're gonna come across those big houses. But Ashley, I'm gonna throw it back to you. I have 3 main reasons why, like specifically why they want to do it, but was there anything you want to add in there?
I tell you what, dude, I say keep going because this is awesome. So keep going.
Okay. All right, so let's roll on to the next screen. I think we just covered Sherlock Holmes and Patrick Bet-David's quote. So let's go on to the next. And we're going to go over the three reasons. So another reason why is we're going to start with the end in mind. So there's a guy, what's his name? Stephen Covey wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one of them is start with the end in mind. So what is the end that we have in mind? We want to increase our income. I think everybody on this call has a desire to increase their income, and y'all are investing your time. So give yourself a round of applause for showing up. And the question for I would ask you all is, what inspired you all to show up? And I believe all of us on this call, we want freedom. We want time freedom. In order to get that, we need the financial freedom. So what do we have, Ashley? Options. Do what we want, when we want to do it, with whoever we want to do it, as much as we want to do it, as long as we're not harming people. But we want that to be with our friends and our family and to do what fulfills our hearts and to serve others without saying, I got to go clock in. So if you want to make 100,000, then you want to say, well, how much do I need to invest? I can tell you there's been, for me, almost every year, if I put in $1, I get back 8 almost every year. So if I want to make $160,000 in a year, I invest 20,000. So you know exactly how much to invest that month. That comes out roughly about $400 a month. Some of you may be saying, JJ, you're crazy. I can't spend $400 a month. First, I tell you, like I tell my son, don't you say that can't word in my house. That's a curse word. I can, I will, I must, I shall. I am going to. And what I did, Ashley, in October of 2017, when I started, I got contracted, got in the field in November. I was broke as a joke. And what I had to do was just buy 10 gold leads, $70 a pop. And I would do a lot of neighbor knocks. Like my coach at that time said, go to 3 to 5 neighbors. Right, Alicia Randolph? 3 to 5 neighbors. And so I was doing what he said. When I went to conference, and I should have said this on the call, Ashley, when Jordan just asked me, like, what's motivating me? I think when I go to conference, Ashley, Eric Chase, what I'm trying to do is take one nugget, one word. When I sit with the couple that's been married for 50 years, I say, give me one word to get me past 7 years. And so for my business, I said, what's one phrase? And it was I believe Keith Thompson said this, get back to that survival mode of when you started. And basically he was saying, get back gritty, up your hours a little bit, increase your lead spend, lose your ego, go to neighbors. I worked with Jared Nozzle, Wall Street. That dude had so much urgency. He walked so fast. He'll write 15K in a week. He would go to like 5, 6, 7 neighbors. And when I saw that, I said, I've gotten complacent. where is my inner JJ? And so that's why you saw me write 11K a previous week and 13K, because I have more urgency. So start with the end in mind. You're going to need to increase your income and your time in the field and your lead investment. And you want to start with the end in mind. So let's move on, Ashley, and I'm going to go to the 3 things. Number 1, you're going to increase your income. And not only that, but the value of your business. Okay. So, and there's another thing. I'm glad we have this thing. So what's the purpose of it? What this does, this activity tracker, I was getting ahead of myself. This activity tracker will give your business a voice. And I want you to be aware of the voice, not only the voice of your business, but the voice in your head, that self-talk. But this activity tracker actually gives your business that can be mute. It gives it a voice and it tells you, hey, JJ, I'm hungry. I need more leads. I need more inventory. Like if you're a car salesman, you're not going to be selling great cars on your opening day without some inventory on your lot. So when you get to that point, let's see who else is on here. Amy, Shalai, I hope I said that right. Martha, when you get to that point, Shelby, Alabama, roll tide. Come on, Fred, don't be talking about no Mississippi. We talking about roll tide. When you get to that point where you're like, where do I go? Where do I turn? You need more leads. So either create them and like I did at the beginning, and then I start getting on platinum as soon as possible and then supplementing with some gold leads and things. But you need more leads in your business. When you look at your tracker and you say, I worked 8 hours, but I only did 5 approaches. That's a problem. And your business is saying, are you really giving it your all? Laura's got a good quote about, like, it's not about the amount of hours. Laura, forgive me if I butcher it. Maybe you can come in and kind of clarify. But she says, how effective are you being in the time that you're out there? And so I'm going to talk about efficiency, but your business will let you know you didn't do enough approaches, so you're not going to get the AP. Can I make this simple for you all? If you don't do enough approaches, you're not going to succeed in this business. You're not going to make the money you need to. So I challenged an agent. She did 6 approaches in one day. Working a full day. I challenged her. Do 6 approaches in 1 hour. In 1 hour, because I've done, like in March Madness, I did 166 approaches in 1 week. I worked 89 hours in an 8-week span. Now you may be saying, JJ, I'm not working 89 hours. I have kids. I have this, I have that. Don't do it. You do your best. Mine's different. But I tell you what, I did stretch what's possible. I said, you can do 30 approaches in 1 day. And I have the tracker to prove it. If you go and if you're that gritty and that determined, if you move from I'm interested in being successful to I'm committed, and this is no excuse November, this is no excuse for the rest of my life, then you take massive responsibility and you're going to go talk to everybody you see. And you're going to have a business card. Dude, we were at Zaxby's yesterday for lunch. This lady comes and opens up my door on accident. She thought it was her car. You know what I did? No problem. Here's my business card. And I'm going to set her up with an IUO meeting. Take every opportunity, give them a card. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. The 3 reasons: increase your income and value, your mindset, because this is going to soothe a lot of anxiety that you'll have when you have that tracker. And for every 3 people I talk to, I'm generally going to sit down with 1. For every 3 people I sit down with, I'm generally going to close 1. And it's true over time. And then it creates systems. What is the difference between Ashley and Laura and JJ? Because they fit party. And there's no excuse why I haven't. Like, there's a guy who's like maybe 10 years younger than me, and he hit it in like 2 years. There's no excuse. The reason why they hit it and I haven't, it's not because we don't have the same goals. Hunter, you got the same goals as JJ. You want to provide for your family. Chris, you have the same goals as Jordan over here. And Tracy, you want to provide. The difference is systems. Goals can give you a direction, but systems implemented will have you hit those goals. So I want you all to use your tracker to create systemic success. Yes, I hijacked that word systemic. Systemic success based on atomic habits. When I say atomic, I'm not talking about boom. The atom is one of the smallest units of particles out there. So small that you can't see with the naked eye.
JJ,
Right?
what
Yeah.
was that? Oh, you said goals give you direction, systems give you what?
Systems will give you results. I have a quote on it towards the end, but yeah, you need systems. Goals can, here's the quote from James Clear in Atomic Habits. Goals can provide direction and even push you forward in the short term, but eventually a well-designed system will always win. Having a system is what matters. Committing to the process is what makes the difference. That's actually the last quote I have on as I exit this talk today. But why not get it out now? That system, that's the reason why we're not winning. Jamal, if you go talk to the Mamba, you're gonna find out, and I talked to him at conference, he actually has systems. He has some really good systems, and that's why he's winning. So let's go to, Laura says this, Ashley says it. The fortune is in the, somebody come off mute and say it. The fortune, come on, Tracy Elliott. The fortune is in the follow up.
Follow through.
Follow through. There you go. Follow up, follow through. The fortune's in the follow through. So tracking helps you follow through. I talked to my clients that I wrote big this weekend. They got a lot of money that their son manages. But if I don't put that in my notes, if I don't put it on my calendar, and I don't have a system to remind me, then I'm not going to follow through and I'm not going to close that annuity, or I'm not even going to get to inspire that guy to give him that value. If you, like a guy that I wrote yesterday, he has a grandchild. I said, look, man, I got all my kids on this whole life, the maximum. This is what you can get. And I just sowed that seed. But if I don't put that in my notes, in my book of business, if I don't drive down the road with Mr. Jordan Screws to Zaxby's, where we almost get assaulted by a lady, opening my door, and if we don't take that time for 10 minutes and enter in 4 things, enter their notes in your cell phone, tracking their birthday, so you can call them on their birthday. If you don't put your book of business and know that fell off, how can you make that money, or it never placed? If you don't put their application in your notability and track that, then how do you know when they call you what their policy number is? Or like if you didn't put their policy number in your book of business, or you call them a year later as you're auditing your book of business and you want to go look at that application. So do you have a system to do that? Those are tracking. That adds value. Business is built on systems and procedures. This is a quote from Patrick Bet-David. Procedures build value because they have a life of their own without being dependent on a certain human being. Some of us, Noah, and I don't know if you've gotten in the field. I know you're new. I saw your business card that was sharp. Karen, Jessica. Oh, Jessica Dunlap be blowing it up over there in North Carolina. Some of us rely on our personality when we should be relying on systems. Some of us put the pressure on ourselves when we should be putting the pressure on the numbers. Now, what I want you all to do is develop a new mindset. And this is value. Profit is short term. I need to go write an app. Value is long term. When I go write an app, I'm going to record it. Profit is working in the business to make money now. I need to pay my bills. Value is working on the business to make money later. I'm going to build notes. I'm going to do an objection log. What are the main objections I'm getting? Okay. So that way I can call my coach. I'm tracking my objections. Yes. An objection log, Christy Blake. Yes. He's shown an objection log. Okay. Profit, short-term, value, long-term. All right. Profit's instant gratification. The value's delayed. It will pay you in the future, like a stock with dividends, like a mutual fund. Profit is sales mentality, but who wants the CEO mentality? Who? Everybody wants to be a CEO. They put it on their LinkedIn. I'm CEO. Yeah. Okay. What's your market cap? Profit is independent contractor. I'm an independent contractor. No, we want to be business owners. We want to build something that has value and that pays us dividends for years. Tracking helps you build that value. Okay, number 2, state management. Let's move on.
Oh, JJ, I think that,
Go ahead, Ashley.
it's, Josh Sherrill said this about a year ago. What you track, you can measure. Yeah. You cannot coach effectively. Your coaches, your direct managers, we cannot coach you effectively if you are not tracking the basics, systems that we've been able to give you as a resource. And so we can utilize all these incredible things, but if we're not resourceful with the resources that are at our fingertips, it means nothing. You know,
Yeah.
Cole Thomason said this the other day at dinner, and he said, follow your feet. Follow your feet. You know, your managers would love to be able to, you know, potentially do it for you. But if we do it for you, we enable you, right? You've got to do it, because understand that, I think Adrienne said this just the other day to her team on her call. Hopefully, Adrienne, I'm getting this correctly. She said this. She said, where is it? You can't have expectation without execution. You can't have expectation before execution. You've got this vision, you've got this goal, but it's worthless if you're not inputting the action necessary. You're going to forget what you did yesterday. I forgot what I did yesterday, what I did last week. Your tracker allows you to see the value of what you're doing out there. So back to you, AJ. I know we've got about 8 minutes left.
8 minutes. So let me go quick on state management. Jordan Belfort says this: when you're in an empowered state, and your value, like the end of this is your tracker is going to empower you. It's going to help your mindset, which is what we need to be successful. Jordan Belfort says this in The Wolf of Wall Street: when you're in an empowered state, like certainty, for instance, then you're able to access internal resources, the power within you, the great power, and which then sets you up for massive success. Not just success, massive success. Conversely, when you're in a disempowered state, you're blocked from accessing your internal resources, and you set yourself up for massive failure. So, and then in order to achieve success in sales, there are 4 main states of being. You all were like, what are you talking about state of being or mindset? We're talking about tracking, because this is important. In order to succeed in sales, there are 4 key states that you need to maintain, and you need to be able to trigger it like that. And that is certainty, clarity, confidence, and courage. And what this tracking does is it allows you to be certain, because you're able to predict. So when you're at 3 o'clock, like last Friday, and I text Ryan Britton, I said, I want to do 5K. He said, I want to do 5K. So let's go. Ryan already hit his 5K in 1 hour. JJ still has done all these presentations. He hasn't gotten anything. I went and I sat down and I started to feel disempowered. When you're aware of the feeling, that's just like, you're not the feeling. It's just a feeling. So you be aware of it, and then you stop, and then you breathe, and you reset, and you recalibrate. And then you start to see, oh, this is where I'm at leads. I need to go check I need to go check my lead inventory. Boom. Bought 4 leads, went to the first one, wrote $120 Eagle. Okay. The next day was able to do like the $3,700 that Saturday from T65. But it was what I needed to do. I needed to trigger certainty. And I saw that from my tracking, I didn't have enough leads left in that county. And I wanted efficiency. So what tracking does is it gives you efficiency. It's a system that allows you to know where to direct your energy. So I knew I could go and do T65s. It may take me longer. I've got 2 hours before church. I need to get into a house now. I'm going to go buy some platinums right now. So I knew, because of my tracker, what I needed to do. And it paid off over $1,000, right, of a premium. Not to brag, that's a nugget for you. Okay. So Ashley, we need to know when we're feeling disempowered, and our tracker will let us know about certainty. It'll let us know, it'll give us confidence. So I wrote these notes that says, competence gives you certainty. So if you're like, how do I get certainty? It comes from knowledge. Certainty gives you confidence. When you're certain, you're able to go to that house. Like, you know exactly what you're going to say. You know the 4As. You know if they're going to give you an objection, blah, blah, blah. Competence precedes that confidence, right? That knowledge. How well are you doing? How well are you actually working? How much are you actually working? Like, you might think you're working along, and you look at your tracker, and it's like, oh, I worked 5 hours. Oh, I didn't work a full 40 hours. How effective you're working. And I already talked about directing your energy. So knowing the numbers gives you the confidence. You need confidence to succeed. Let's move on. Ashley, do you want to add anything? Because I know we're short on time, but maybe 4 minutes.
Oh, you're doing great. I just wrap up with this one. Yeah.
Systems. Yay. All right. So Ashley's
Sorry,
pulling it up.
keep going. Sorry, keep going. I don't know what just
Okay,
happened there.
I'll put my own notes. So what systems do?
Whoop, sorry. There you go.
Boom. So I mentioned earlier why Ashley and these other people are hitting these goals, while some of your friends are hitting AG2, AG1, and you haven't. It's because they actually have their systems in place. Goals are good for planning your progress, and systems are good for actually making progress. And so what I want you to do is become a big believer in systems. Now, you all hear this all the time. Believe, believe, believe. And you say, yeah, I believe I can increase my income. But why am I not? Because actually there's, and I mentioned this on the call briefly, there's implicit and explicit beliefs. We don't have enough time to dive into it, but I'll tell you, you're probably like explicit beliefs are, I can hit AG1, I can hit AG2, I can hit sales manager. Your implicit belief that's kind of lying underneath is your self-talk that actually says, oh, the leads suck. Oh, my coach doesn't, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, chargebacks. Oh, you have all these excuses that run counter to your belief. You probably have a disempowering belief about our system. So what I need you all to do is find out what those thoughts are, become aware of your self-talk, and then talk back to them. You're going to have automatic negative thoughts, but I want you to go to automatic positive thoughts, from ANTS to APTS, automatic positive thoughts. And that is going to help trigger your belief. Okay. I'm going to move on. So believe in the system. Efficiency allows you to know how quickly to get the job done. Like if you don't have measurable numbers to look up when you wake up in the morning, then you're running an inefficient business. If you don't know how to identify leaks and trends in your business, like if you don't know, like Jordan's already doing it. He knows that towards the end of the year, numbers fall off in insurance. And it's not because people aren't going to buy. It's because people's mindsets, they start to allow themselves to be distracted and allow themselves to not do the same activity. Tracking helps you do that. How many people lean on their personality? Like I said, your systems will allow your business to boom. And here's the end game. You can't just measure it. You have to be able to analyze the data. So what I did in 2019, I took every month, Ashley, and I looked at, for this whole month, these are all the approaches I did. These are all the presentations. This is all the AP. This is all the income. And I was able to see how much I actually made per hour. So I knew if I knocked on a door, or even if I sat down with somebody, I could sit down with them and not sell anything, and I still would make like $72. I still make $200. And so, like, oh, do you get paid salary? Like, I get paid regardless. Like, I can help you. I'm kind of retired. I'm just here to serve you. That's the mindset. Like, I don't need you. You need me. That's what tracking will do. It'll give you that competence because you know throughout the whole year, I put this amount of money, I'm going to get this back. It's a guarantee as long as you get out there and do it. So this last quote is the same one that we have here, Ashley. It's the last screen. Forget that last one is goals can provide direction, right? And push you forward. What are the numbers we want to track? 1 minute. Leads. Now, Ashley, you may disagree with these numbers. I put some like minimums and maximums, but leads 40 new to you. Sometimes Jordan says 30. I say 40 like Angie Everhart. When you can get some platinums, do those. Get a standing lead order to compete with top performers. ROI, $8 for every lead spent. Already went over. You want to eventually get to $400 a week to maximize your income in leads. Maybe you do 200 and fill it in with T65 and neighbor knocks to do it. You can still do it. Prezos, 10 a week minimum. If you really want to max out, 30. You want to get 3 to 5 presentations. A lot of our agents like Naomi G, Jermaine, they're getting eight presentations. AP, minimum 3,500. Shoot for 5. 10 is great. If you really want to compete with nationals, you're going to need 15, 30K, and you can do it. You just need systems. You need tracking. After writing the app, pull over, do exactly what I said earlier. Do those 4 things. It's 8:30. That's my time. Ashley, strength and honor. Anything else?
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is just, this is phenomenal stuff. I know this is that last quote that you have on there,
Boom.
but Guys, I'm going to send this. I hope it's okay that I send this out into the WhatsApp. I'll send it out
Share
to
it with
the
the
Powerhouse team. Absolutely. And, folks, I would just say this is that I was talking to somebody earlier this morning on a coaching call. And if you're that agent that looks at your business and you're like, oh, well, the leads suck, the system sucks, our culture sucks, or this, that. And it's like, I get it. Like, I feel what you're saying. Okay. And I felt the same way. And this is what I found out in the very, very beginning. You ready for this? Is that you've got to elevate your perspective and you need to lean on the systems, believing in the systems that we've been able to pull out, have these resources for you. NASB and every single insurance company out there would not exist if it had everything to do with what? Your area, your leads, right? I mean, let's be really honest with ourselves here, shall we? You blaming the leads and, this person not being home. No, it's a lack of resiliency. And I want you to write this end thing down. You ready for this? Earning it simply means enduring it. Earning it simply means enduring it. Can you have a patient endurance as you are going through the process? You want it now. You want the result now. You've not earned it. You've not earned the easy because you're not enduring it. Does that make sense? Right? Those that get it, those that maintain success are the ones that are getting ready for this. They maintain the systems because they believe in the numbers. Show me the numbers, like Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Show me your activity tracker. Folks, have a great day. Thank you, JJ. Phenomenal job. Let's make it a great day. Y'all take care.